Alright family, real quick, do y'all know the story about George Washington's revolutionary runaway slave? It's February 18th, time for more Black Excellence during Black History Month. Today's subject is one other than Mr. Harry Washington. If you don't know, you're about to know. Harry was born as a slave in the country of Gambia around 1740 and would be purchased by George Washington to go work on Mount Vernon in 1763. And like many slaves working on a plantation at that time, he would yearn for his freedom, and he would also attempt to escape, making his first attempt on July 29, 1771, escaping to New York. But it would be unsuccessful and he would be returned to Washington. And the opportunity for his next escape would actually come at the hands of an unlikely ally, the British of all people, as on November 14, 1775, John Murray, the 4th Lord of Dunbar and the governor of the colony of Virginia, would announce that any slaves would be freed if they came and fought for the British on the heels of the Revolutionary War coming up. After hearing about this, Harry would seize the opportunity and run away in 1776 to join the British Army. He served nobly in Dunbar's all-black regiment, the Black Pioneers, rose to the rank of corporal, and even participated in the siege on Charleston, South Carolina in 1781. And while all this was going on, George Washington hired a number of slave catchers to try and retrieve all of his slaves. However, he was never able to retrieve Harry Washington himself. And at the end of the Revolutionary War, after the British lost, Harry resided in the black community in the British zone of New York, whom were all thinking they were going to be returned to their previous slave owners now that this happened. But true to their word, British would grant these individuals their freedom and sail Harry, his wife, as well as 405 other black men, women, and children to the settlement of Birchtown in Nova Scotia, Canada in July of 1783. He would stay there for the next 9 years, but discontent with the living conditions there, Harry and his wife would join 1,200 other freed men to migrate to a new British colony in Sierra Leone in 1792. Then, 8 years later in 1800, Harry would join a rebellion against the British government because the British were now requiring the settlers they brought to this land to pay exorbitant taxes to live there. But unlike in America, this rebellion would be squashed out and Harry would be exiled to the land of Bullum Shore up until he would pass away from disease later that year in 1800. And in the wake of highlighting Harry's fight for justice and freedom, here's today's quote. "I'm for truth no matter who tells it. I'm for justice no matter who it is for or against. I'm a human being first and foremost, and as such, I'm for whoever and whatever benefits humanity as a whole." The famous Malcolm X.